Beyond the Black Rims. I'm Mars Girl.
I'm Josh Knight the First.
This is Season 7, Episode 4.
Or Episode 146 if you're counting.
Was this the last picture I had you send me?
Yeah.
Because it needs to go away.
Yeah, he shouldn't be there yet.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about him in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll talk about him in a little bit.
But thank you as always to the Patreon contributors over at patreon.com/MarsGirl,
yes,
who make this show and all kinds of other stuff I do possible. So thank you as always. It's been a very full week for us over here, and some downers, but some things looking up, so I'm feeling pretty hopeful about the future, and very glad to be with you guys today, and talking to you guys as usual. Always very fun.
Yes.
Yes.
Very fun, happy fun times, yes.
They're asking about your hair.
What about my hair?
It's different, right?
Is it? I hadn't noticed.
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit?
No, I did not dye my hair. It actually, all we did was bleach it. I just wanted to see if I could go a little lighter brown. We only put it in my hair for maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Max.
Your hair bleaches
and my,
very, very
my
quickly.
hair, as you guys can see, naturally came out this way with the bleach.
Yeah, kind of a browny, reddish,
orangey. Yeah.
I don't really know what burnt umber.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know.
But I really like it, actually, and there have been some other people who have said that, oh, you look like a tokusatsu hero now, because that has been the running trend of all of these younger Kamen Rider lead actors, is to lightly bleach, or maybe not so lightly bleach their hair.
Yeah, because I was saying, you remember me saying specifically when we were getting ready to do it, because I just kind of did it on a whim, I don't want to come out looking like Takeru from Ghost, and for my money, I think I came out looking a little bit like Takeru.
A little, but his, I think, was left in for maybe another 5 minutes.
Yeah, because his has been a lot more blonde in these last couple of episodes.
Yeah,
and I know usually a lot of you guys ask us in the post-show, this week, we're good. We did catch up. We are fully caught up with Ghost and Zyuohger, respectively.
Yeah.
So that's good to go.
Yeah.
So we can talk more about that in the post-show. You guys can stick around for the extra 30 minutes afterward.
Yeah, right,
Yes.
exactly. So, usually I pull this at the end of the episode, but if you're watching this on YouTube, I sure wish you guys would come down live with us at 9 p.m. Central to twitch.tv/MarsGirl and talk with all the cool people over here, because you're also going to get to do that for an additional half an hour that you guys on YouTube don't get to see. And we'll talk directly to you.
Yes.
It's awesome and it's fun.
Up and at them.
I feel like I've slightly gotten the lights a little bit better, too. There's not
Yeah, we're starting to get the hang of this setup.
Yeah, and I'm still really in love with this new webcam. In fact, I used this new webcam on my newest review that I've just about got done. If I sit on it a little bit tonight, I might actually have it finished. But yeah, this review of Dual Parallel Trouble Adventure, I used this webcam to film it, and it looks really good to me. Like, it looks kind of on par with my DSLR, and now I feel like, well, I'm not going to use my DSLR in the house anymore. I'll use it for other cool shoots and stuff. Like, why would I set up anything extra? This film's in 1080. Why would I do that?
Yeah.
It's got awesome. It's a good camera, so thanks again to Sean. This thing has been amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very happy to have it.
Yeah. Has anything else gone on that's really cool?
Well, it's kind of a callback to last week, because I know we talked about Gene Wilder last week, and I was expressing my love for Young Frankenstein. Mm-hmm. They confirmed that Young Frankenstein is going back into theaters the first weekend of October, so you guys want to get in on that if you haven't seen it. Because I know right now, I've checked, I've been to every Walmart and Target within about a 10-mile radius. All copies that used to be there for $5, they're gone.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor, get out there, go see that movie. It's a comedic classic.
Absolutely.
Definite. And Mel Brooks has gone on his Twitter and said there's going to be a little bumper at the beginning, specifically him dedicating the showings to Gene.
Oh,
He's got
that's
something
nice.
very nice and sweet planned out for him.
That's nice,
So definitely
yeah.
go check that out.
Yeah. I guess we don't have much else in the way of catching up with ourselves, huh?
Not this week. I know on... we'll probably talk more about it next week, but this Tuesday we're going to go see Funimation, and we're going to be talking more about Funimation later. They're showing of the second Rurouni Kenshin movie, Kyoto Inferno, which we made that comparison before. The Kenshin movies are kind of like the Dark Knight trilogy in Japan, where the first one starts it out, the second one gets really good and raises the stakes, and the third one your mileage may vary.
I mean, I didn't think the second one was amazing, but I thought it was better than the third one.
I like parts of the third one much the same way I say I like parts of The Dark Knight Rises.
That makes sense. That's fair. Then I guess that's it for just the two of us talking. Let's go ahead and talk about what our main stories are going to be throughout the course of the evening. So first of all, as many of you know, the PS4 Pro and the new PS4, what are we calling it? The Slim? Whatever. It's the smaller one.
The smaller one.
PS4, the smaller one.
PS4 Slim Fast.
Have been announced, and mostly we'll be talking about the Pro. But both of those things did just get officially announced yesterday. What was once called the Neo is now called the Pro. Excited to be talking about the possibilities with the Pro.
Yes, our second story of the evening is going to be covering Pokemon Go. Now, we have talked about it before, but now we're going to look at it in terms of it actually helping commerce. And specifically, we're going to be focusing on some stuff in our town and some stuff over in Japan, specifically in the Miyagi Prefecture, how it's really helping bolster tourism over there.
Right.
So we'll be talking to you guys more about that in our second story.
And finally, for the third story, as you brought up just a little bit ago, we're going to be talking about Funimation and their partnership with Crunchyroll that seems like a merger, but they insist it's not a merger.
It's just a really, really strong partnership.
It's a strong partnership that involves the sharing of both of their intellectual properties with one another. So we'll be talking about the nitty-gritty details on how that's going and how it's supposed to help the North American anime fandom community.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about all of that tonight. But first, the follow-ups.
Okay, well, this is...
But I don't know why I'm pointing at you, because I do them.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into it, starting, of course, with the DC news, as usual. So, first and foremost, what we can confirm as of today from the WB DC movie universe that Joe Manganiello has been confirmed. He was the frontrunner for the longest time. Now it's confirmed he will be playing the role of Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, in the solo Batman movie. You dropped all your Ecto Cooler.
Yeah, the Ecto Cooler's being ghosty, as Ecto Cooler should. But please, go ahead.
Yes. So he will be featured there in the solo Batman movie coming out right after full-blown Justice League does. Definitely looking forward to that. And other Batman-related news, two video game tidbits. The first one being Batman the Telltale series. The second episode will be coming out on September 20th. For any of you guys who haven't played it, get on that. It's good. It really does tell a better story, trying to balance out the duality of Batman versus Bruce Wayne, whose decisions weigh more in the fight for Gotham. So that's going to be coming out on both console and PC.
Awesome.
And we reported to you guys before about Batman Return to Arkham having been postponed indefinitely. And we're like, why was that a thing? That seems so easy. Well, it seems like they've gone back on that. We do have a release date now. It's going to be coming out on October 18th.
Okay, that's not that far away.
For next-gen systems, so Xbones, PS4s, you can go ahead and play the first two Arkham games with all of their downloadable content included, in better graphics. That, of course, being the selling point there is if you love those games, now you can see them in 4K.
Yay, if you happen to be able to spend that much money. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay, moving over to the Marvel side of things. So they have confirmed right now Josh Brolin is currently in rehearsal for his role as Thanos over for the Infinity War movie. They're running through some moves right now, some choreography. So very much looking forward to him getting down with all the Avengers and really busting heads.
Yeah.
Over on the television portion of things, like you had the picture of earlier.
Yeah, I sure did.
We have our first look at Gabriel Luna in the role of Robbie Reyes, the current incarnation of Ghost Rider. He, of course, is going to be seen in this next upcoming season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. over on ABC. Very much looking like his comic book counterpart. Of course, Robbie Reyes is, as I said, the current rendition. He's not Danny Ketch. He's not Johnny Blaze. He's got a car. He doesn't have a motorcycle, very much distinguishing him from those two previous renditions. But you'll have that to look forward to this season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Sounds good.
Back over on the movie side of things, we also had a picture that's been circulating through many news sites right now, from supposedly from the set of Spider-Man Homecoming. We have this picture of the Shocker, who is, of course, one of Spider-Man's classic villains. Here you can see pictures of the costume looking a bit... No, wait. Go this way. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Looking a bit more brown than red, as he would be seen in most of the comics and video games, but that does seem like the Shocker suit. You can't really see here, but the yellow has the diamond pattern that's traditionally there on the costume. It's been rumored for a while that he was going to be a sub-villain there in Spider-Man Homecoming, and it seems like that's confirmed here. I don't mind the suit at all.
I don't really know much about what he's supposed to look like.
Really,
so
all the brown should be red. That's all it is.
Alright, that's fine.
But I take that the same way as they did with Captain America's costume. You notice there's a lot more browns where the reds are, at least within Winter Soldier and the first one. So here, I kind of get the sub out for red and brown, so I'll let that one slide. That's fine. And then, of course, we would be remiss... Get rid of it. We would be remiss to not mention that today is the 50th anniversary of Star Trek.
Right.
Of course, a lot of people celebrating over on Twitter, on social media, over on Facebook. They've allowed all of the different symbols of what to like of a status. You know, it's a Klingon, the Live Long and Prosper symbol. All of those things are there available. It's interesting to think about, especially with announcements like the recent Apple things, how the ideas of that kind of technology is still based and
we saw in Star Trek for the last 50 years, yeah.
Exactly, like Roddenberry.
The future is here in some ways.
And, of course, everybody sharing their fondest memories. Of course, this is the one week I decided not to wear my Spock versus Spock shirt.
Right.
So I feel like an idiot. But, of course, that's awesome. We also have the new Star Trek series over on CBS to look forward to. So, yeah. Awesome. Star Trek.
Still haven't seen enough of that Star Trek series.
They've got more coming. They've got more coming.
How good it's going to be. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to more information about that.
Okay. Moving over to the Power Ranger reboot. So Walter Jones, who originally played Zack in the original series, has gone on record as saying neither he nor any of the original cast members have been contacted in any way, shape, or form to appear in the movie at all.
I mean, I guess I'm not shocked. I'm disappointed. But I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not surprised in the
slightest. Because we're talking about Saban, and who else? It's not Warner Brothers.
It's
Lionsgate. Okay, if it were just Lionsgate, maybe that would have been different. But they're going through Saban, and no, Saban doesn't treat their own actors with terribly much respect. So.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, but the thing about it is, like we've seen from as much as we've gotten so far, they're very much trying to, I guess, distance themselves from the original incarnation.
It's what it feels like, right? It does not feel like, it feels like all they want is the brand name, and they're hoping to completely reinvent it and be like, what is this Japanese show? We've never heard of it. We need to make it look as much not like it as possible.
Yes. On a similar note, we have a picture of... We've talked to you guys a while back about the game Chroma Squad, which was independently funded and brought over to PC. Now it is coming to consoles starting next year.
Some of you guys might remember I did a live stream of it quite some time ago, and I'm regretting the direction I went down the direction to get the 6th Ranger, rather than I could have gotten the Rider-like character, and I didn't. Maybe you guys can do that now that it's coming out to consoles if you don't have a PC that's going to be able to play this. Of course, if you do, you can be playing it right now. I mean, go and get it. It's a really great game and makes a ton of really awesome tokusatsu nods.
Oh, a ton of tokusatsu nods. Because you have the option for the 6th Ranger, the kind of sort of metal hero, and the kind of sort of...
Big One is just a statue that's just standing there.
Yes.
I wonder if they got permission to use it or not, or if it just kind of slipped under the radar. I really don't know. It doesn't matter. He's there.
But yes, absolutely. If you're a fan of tokusatsu, get on that. It's a ton of fun, ton of references. Right now, very cheap, but if you really want that hard disc copy, you're going to have your chance. Okay, moving over to some Star Wars news. We got a first look at some Star Wars Rogue One merch coming out this fall. A lot of the different shirts there featuring the characters from the movie. There, right next to Kaylin's head, there's a Darth Vader shirt, which people are wondering if that's the actual look of Vader in the movie, because it's the traditional Vader outfit, albeit his eyes are red. Now, some people are saying, well, it's just an affectation for the shirt.
I kind of doubt it, because he's surrounded by red, and I agree. I think it's just the design of the shirt.
And then other people are saying, well, are they trying to call back really hard to episode 4 when, in fact, the lenses aren't exactly black?
Yeah, but that's not because they weren't supposed to be black. It's because dude needed to be able to see through that helmet, and Lucas was like, well, we'll do what we gotta do, I guess. Fly by the seat of our pants.
You almost sound like Lucas, but you need more neck meats.
Yeah, okay, well, what if I do
Yeah,
this?
you need to do this, and you need this shirt. Is basically how that works.
Well, in 1977, he didn't have all the neck meats. He just had the shirt.
No, he just had the shirt and, like, the bomber jacket, but
yeah.
But yes, you'll be able to see those probably at your local Target or Walmart starting within a couple of months. You remember when we got that BB-8 shirt ahead of time, and they wouldn't let us have it. I wonder if that won't be the case again.
They start putting it out way too early, and then they're like, oh, sorry, no, that's our bad. Oops.
Like, I wish a mother would. I really do, because I don't have a problem going through that again. Like, hey, you put it out there, it's got a price tag, it's ringing up, give it to me now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, over on the, again with the gaming scene, over on Overwatch, this weekend, free weekend on consoles, free play for Overwatch, so if you haven't had a chance to play the game, download it. It will be available as of 11 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow.
Play it with Josh. Josh needs people to play with on PS4, and I have it for PC, and he doesn't, and he needs people to play with.
Yeah, well, actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think console and PC will have it downloadable. I don't know why I said it the other way, but
no, I'm pretty sure it was console. If I'm to be honest, I want to say it's console.
Well, either way, if you get a chance, go play it. It's oh my god, I love it so much. Okay, moving over to Kamen Rider X-Aid. Okay, so X-Aid starts on the 2nd. Pre-orders are going up right now for the Gamer Driver, which is his transformation device. What we have here is a picture of the Gamer Driver icon, which is a pre-order item. If you manage to get a pre-order in right now, because I know they're going fast, you'll be able to have this. This, of course, works with the current Ghost driver for Kamen Rider Ghost. Ghost, of course, will be ending this month with X-Aid and Kamen Rider Genmu, how that's pronounced, appearing there in the penultimate and ultimate episodes. So if you got the scratch, go for it. I don't know if I can afford it. I just kind of want the driver itself.
Yeah.
But that's all we've got for the follow-ups. Let's go ahead and get right into our stories.
Yeah, so somewhere around here, there we go. I've got images here of PS4 Pro is on over Josh's shoulder to the this way, and Josh's shoulder to the this way is the PS4 Slim. Why is it? Oh, it's gray, and then our other background image is white. Okay, you know what? Whatever.
We're fine.
We're fine. So, let me talk about the Slim for a second here. So, the Slim is essentially going to be replacing all current models of the PS4. So, current models of the PS4, as we know them, will not be sold anymore. They're moving over to the Slim model instead, and it's supposed to be lighter. It's supposed to have 23% less energy spent as you're playing and using it. There's going to be firmware updates for it and for the current models of PS4 that are going to allow it to take on high resolution display better. But you want high resolution, then of course we're talking PS4 Pro. So PS4 Pro, it looks like a sideways Big Mac now. They added like this silly double-decker looking look to it.
It's got layers.
It does. It has layers. It's going to cost $400. It'll be out November 10th. It's got a terabyte of hard drive space. It's got 8 gigs of RAM, far better CPU, far better GPU. It's just the processing power is very, very appealing. That, and they are totally going hard into 4K territory. That is what they're bragging about highly right now. They showed 4K looking stuff with gameplay from, for example, Andromeda,
Mass Effect
Andromeda, which really the gameplay doesn't look exciting yet, but it looks very pretty, I have to admit.
And they did confirm that we're getting a trailer for that in November.
Yes.
So at least that more than showing what the graphics look like got my attention.
Yeah, because I'm still coming from a generation of people that, we didn't have 4K graphics the majority of our life, and graphics was not the thing that sold gaming to me. Gameplay and storytelling sold gaming to me. So this is actually one of the critiques I have about the PS4 Pro, and that's, man, they're going so hard for 4K graphics. There's no way in hell we can afford a 4K TV.
Right, because at that point, it's kind of the same thing where...
It's coming eventually, but like 4K TVs, yeah, they're out there, but they're expensive, and I can't afford a 4K TV now.
Because right now, when 4K is just coming up and it's not quite the norm yet, then it comes off as gimmicky. It's the same thing with 3D TVs. Mm-hmm. If you've got a 3D disc of something, like, say, Episode 7... and then you want to put it in, but you don't have the TV to facilitate that 3D look, then what's the point?
Yeah, there's kind of no point. But for some people, it's going to be worth it. And I agree, that's why they haven't stopped selling PS4s, regular PS4s, or these new slim PS4s entirely. But the one really strange decision is to not... I'm trying to understand why they would do this. Not facilitate the capability to play 4K Blu-ray.
Right. That's been the big point for a lot of people, and I'm inclined to agree with that.
That doesn't make any sense when you consider Blu-ray was designed by Sony. I remember it was 2008. When I was in school in Japan, and I went to the Sony building, and they were bragging about Blu-ray, and they were bragging, this was as 4K was just starting to be developed, and at the top floor they had 4K being displayed, and it really did, at the time, it looked, this was real footage of, like, India they were showing up at the top floor, and the footage looked so real, it kind of scared me. It looked so real, it looked unreal, and so I'm thinking, well, it really is amazing, so if you want to push 4K, and you want to push Blu-ray that you developed, why would you not put that in this system that is boasting 4K so hard?
See, now, I've been having a chance to think about this, and when you first look at it, no, it doesn't make any sense, right? Mm-hmm. Because you figure, you're the guys who developed this stuff, why didn't you put it in there? That should have been the first thing you thought of, at least as far as my money's concerned. But then you think about it, if they don't include it there, that means when there's another eventual sort of upgrade, and they do stick it in there, that's one more thing to help sell the next thing down the road.
Yeah, but, like, it feels like that shouldn't have been a next thing down the road sort of thing. That should have been now this is would be a pretty good time to do it. And when we're talking about, the PS4 is about to be in competition with Project Scorpio, they have the advantage of getting the PS4 Pro out the door half a year or more than half a year for sure, than Project Scorpio. But then, like, is Sony concerned about making the PS5? Like, is that the next idea? Is that the next jump in logic? Or are they telling us, well, we're pushing 4K, what's the point in making another console? Maybe they'll have a PS4 Pro Plus or something but that's what I'm saying. That will have a Blu-ray 4K drive.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because they're building towards that. Because when you're having to develop a whole nother system, which of course Microsoft is doing right now, they're letting us know ahead of time, like they said at E3. There's all these things we're going to be putting into it. We're letting you know what we're putting in ahead of time, but we're working on it. And that's all well and good, but like you say, PlayStation got out the door first.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, one, Microsoft probably already had that in mind with Project Scorpio, that, all right, we're going to have to meet these demands for visuals, as far as 4K is concerned. We've got to have at least this much processing power. We've got to have the titles to support it, otherwise nobody's going to friggin' care. And with PlayStation, it seems more the kind of idea that so long as we can sell you something and then sell you the slightly better version later,
Yeah.
In that sense, it's kind of like what Apple's trying to do with the headphone jack of, yeah, we're going to sell you an iPhone, we just kind of modified it to where you have to buy this next thing, and this thing, and this thing too, to get the thing you've already come to expect.
Oh, yeah, and during that conference, not only were they talking about the slim model of PS4 and the PS4 Pro, but they also were talking about, here's our new wireless Bluetooth hidden microphone headset that will be awesome for using during PlayStation VR, and here's our new dock for setting your PS4 up vertically, and they just had all these additional accessories for these new models of PS4s, and they want you to buy thing after thing on top of the PS4. Also new models of the DualShock that come in 3 different colors, black, red, and blue, all kinds of new things.
Because the thing about it is, kind of like what Chris Rock said once, the money's in the comeback. Mm-hmm. If you buy the system, that's great. If you buy games, it's a little more money, but where they're going to make the most off is the peripherals. Mm-hmm. Having to get the headsets, having to get the new controllers, making them look as appealing as possible. And part of that goes into engineering the kind of games that make you want those things. Because it's not enough to show me, oh wow, this looks cool. Telling me what it does, like, okay, it will really give you that immersive experience. Because for somebody like me, who's very fickle with the games they play, like, I'm not just playing Overwatch because I'm good at it. I like the way it looks. With something like, say, for example, Batman Arkham VR. You want that as immersive as possible. Because what they showed at E3 was only so impressive. And if you guys are pushing, well, we've got the capability, we've got the processing power to really pull you in there, then for somebody like me, yeah, I'll get suckered in.
Yeah. Good job, Josh.
Exactly. So if they're pushing for those sort of things, they have to make them as appealing as possible. Otherwise, how else are you going to sell?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Yes.
The thing about it, though, is they're announcing this stuff now for the pricing, which is fairly competitive.
Fairly, yeah. You compare it to, say, the newest models of Xbox One. It's
What's
comparable.
The One S, right?
One S, yeah, it's comparable. So, yeah.
But the thing about it is, we're here in September. We're going to be coming up on the holidays soon.
Yeah, they wanted this out the door and ready for the holidays. That is to be certain. As the November 10th date just is screaming holiday sales.
Yeah, pre-Black Friday, like, it's coming.
Yeah.
We all know it's coming. And the thing about it is, if that's the date, November 10th, Black Friday is like, what, 3 weeks after that?
2 weeks maybe,
Or 2 weeks, I guess based on the count, 2 weeks after that. Like, that price will only hold so much, and then you drop another couple of dollars off at GameStop or Best Buy, like, hey, come on, Black Friday deal, get in on it. It's smart. It gives them the best turnaround right now.
Right.
But as far as it holding up for whatever they have down the road, like, say, a potential PlayStation 5, I don't know how well that's going to do. It's kind of the same complaint I have about the S. Like, why put it out now when you've already told me what you've got coming next? At least for PlayStation, it works in their favor that they haven't said how far down the road they're looking.
Yeah.
This is for right now.
Exactly. And as far as the new slim models of PS4, that is to satiate anybody who can't go all the way up to PS4 Pro, which I think is a smart idea.
I think it is. I do agree.
And I would almost consider replacing ours if not for the fact that it has PT demo still on it, and we'll never be able to get PT demo on the new slim model.
Unless you want to sell it because it has the PT demo on it.
But aren't they, like, removing those PS4s off of eBay? The one, like, Sony is blocking the sales of those specifically because you have a PT demo on it.
Not if you do it really, really smart.
Yeah, maybe I could sell it. Maybe I could sell it over Twitter. And
yeah, see, like, if you let people know on Twitter, we'll talk about that later. Let's not worry about that.
So that's what we're looking at right now is a PS4 Pro that I think will be good for those of you who have the money, for those of you who already have the capability to watch and play things in 4K, and those of you excited about VR, for example, because it just has a lot more processing power. We still can't swap out hard drives or RAM or better it like a PC. People keep talking talking about the day when consoles will be able to function like a PC, in which you can start to swap out the things inside of it to match what you want it to do, because that's what these are. These are computers.
More and more, they're just computers without screens.
There's computers without screen. Well, I mean, what computer has a screen until you buy a screen?
Unless
Macintosh,
it's a laptop. Or a Mac.
But more than that, it's a computer that you can't crack open and you can't mod.
Right.
And if you do, you void your warranty. So maybe one day we'll get to that point, and maybe Sony will be smart enough to say, here, you can buy hard drives, and you can buy RAM for it, and you can buy new motherboards for it and whatnot. That day has not yet come. I think some people were hoping this one could do that.
Well, because the thing about it is, if you allow that to happen, then both companies, Microsoft and Sony, are aware of this. If you allow that to happen, the odds of that, it's not even an if, it's a when, of that getting out of your hands and people doing more with it than you expected, it's inevitable. And when that happens, then you're not going to be able to clamp down on, oh, I could have made money off that. That's why they're not allowing it.
Yeah. At the same time, I think Sony and Microsoft, again, they could produce their own internal things. Hard drives, like Microsoft already makes hard drives.
Right.
They already sell hard drive upgrades for their consoles. You can just do it again. And then also think about Microsoft and Sony specific RAM and motherboards and stuff. I do think that might be difficult, but I feel like at the same time, you know what's also difficult? Keeping up with the production curve and the technology curve, and then realizing, oh, you gotta buy an entirely new console every couple of years.
Right.
One day, I think it's coming. I don't think that these companies want to embrace it, but I think it's coming eventually.
That also seems like an inevitability, but not anytime soon. But that's pretty much how that looks. So if you're interested, the Slims are going to be out like next week.
Yeah.
So you can get
soon
on that if you haven't already gotten a PS4. There's your chance. And then of course November will be the Pro. So yeah, get your Black Friday money ready, because you're going to be spending it.
It's coming.
Most likely on this.
It's coming. Alright, I guess we're done with this for now.
Yes.
Next is, what? Pokemon Go related stuff? So...
Well, okay, I want to start by saying this, like... But before we even get into it, I'm still annoyed with every single news report and person on TV that gets interviewed and they pronounce it Pokemon. Like, by this point, the series has been out for 20 years.
I can almost understand Pokemon, like, that's kind of tolerable, but Pokemon is a little
I play Pokemon! Like, no, Pokemon. It's
like,
not
it
hard.
should be very clear by now, the Mon means monster. That should be very clear.
Yeah.
It's not...
I just wanted to get that off my chest first. Just saying that.
Okay.
Because if you're going to be advertising for it, pronounce it correctly.
Okay.
Which ties into our story here. Specifically, this story coming out of Anime News Network is in regard to the Miyagi Prefecture, which is one of the places in Japan that was most heavily hit by the storms and tsunami back in 2011. And they've been trying to, of course, get back on their feet afterwards. And they found that the best idea for them right now is to throw everything they've got into Pokemon Go related advertising. And the thing about this, some people would figure, well, is that really the wisest idea? Well,
take whatever you can get,
One, take whatever you can get, but two, relating it back to here, specifically where we live in San Antonio, we've seen examples of that all across town.
Yeah, San Antonio has embraced it so hard. I want to say we've had news reports saying that San Antonio has been the most Pokemon Go hungry city in North America.
And you guys remember, we talked to you guys before about the events that they've had at the local zoo. Their numbers have shot up. Minimum 200% rise in attendance for the nights that they have those things. And it's not just the park itself, the zoo. They allow vendors there to sell Pokemon-related items. So it's become a business, and they're making money like gangbusters. And the thing about it is, because Pokemon is a worldwide brand now, it works.
Yeah.
It's smart. Say what you want if you're somebody who doesn't game, but even casual people are just there on the street corner like, a rag, relative. Hooray. It's everywhere, and people have figured, well, it's not just enough that people are enjoying this. I can make something off this. You know, the smartest thing of people putting out lures in front of their business. We were just out with friends in California, like we said, the week we were off. They had a special there, like, hey, do you guys train? Whatever level you are, that will show us what kind of...
This was at Curry House.
Curry House out there in L.A. If you were level 5, you got, like, a free drink. If you were level 10, you got bread or something like that. And it was subsequently higher, 10, 20, 40, like that. And all the way up to like $5 off your meal or something like that. It's like, wow, that seems really... I better play this game. Free, you got the free bread.
I got the free bread. It's interesting that I'm looking here at the Miyagi Prefecture, what they're saying about how much money they plan on spending on Pokemon Go advertising. 30 million yen, that's $290,000.
Thereabouts, yes.
That's a pretty significant amount of Pokemon
That's not cheap,
Go
no.
Advertising. That's in its annual budget for Pokemon Go related expenditures, and they're having public Pokestops that they hope are going to bring visitors. Here, I'm quoting here, it will go further and provide public spaces to play the game as well as booths to sell goods from the other prefectures and Kumamoto Prefecture.
Which was also hit by that earthquake.
Kumamoto also had damage from an earthquake earlier this year. Kumamoto, the city of Kumamoto, is also San Antonio's sister city, so that's important to us. 10 million yen, that's almost $97,000, has been allocated for these expenses already. So they're
going to be
really saving up for this.
All of this into maps for the area, pamphlets, website, TV commercials. I haven't seen, like, every commercial that I've seen for Pokemon Go has been digital.
Yeah.
On the web. Whereas actual commercials, like people watching TV, will be told, hey, you can play Pokemon Go here, come beat this gym. Like, that's really pushing how much you're putting your faith in this game. Mm-hmm. Because the thing of it is, we've seen it. You know, you're out, your average person out on the street, you know, you've got a few minutes, maybe an hour to spare. You go Pokemon hunting. You go buy somewhere that has a gym that happens to be like a 7-Eleven or something like that. Like, well, so long as I'm here, I should get something to drink, and that develops commerce.
Yeah.
You know, it's somewhere that has a special, like, hey, come on in, we're a bakery. You know, if you catch something here, we see what level you are, you get a free cookie, something like that. Mm-hmm. That drives business.
Yeah, so it should be noted that, yes, Pokemon Go's user activity has decreased since its first couple of weeks. That's to be expected. It's really to be expected with any casual mobile game. I think, however, it gets a ton more use in Japan than it does in the West, because when you're in Japan, you're spending a lot of time on trains, for example. A lot of time on trains.
Because for as much as we think over here in the West that we live off their phones, having seen it in person, they live off their phones in Japan.
Yeah. Easily, very easily. And I do think it's being mentioned here in the chat too. I think once they roll out with another update, adding in the next generation of Pokemon, also
it'll kick back up again.
Yeah, user base will spike back up again when people are excited to see their next favorite Pokemon get introduced.
Exactly.
I think it'll do well for the prefecture, even for Kumamoto too, for their involvement in this as well. I think that this could be used in a very smart way, and I think that businesses, even around here, that utilize it's a very smart thing to do. I have seen some businesses that are like, our Pokemon aren't free, you have to pay for stuff around here.
Okay, that goes into the next part of doing this, which I'm sure they're not going to do over there in Miyagi. When you're going to advertise using this game, which you can download for free, and you're using to make a buck off, don't be a dick. Because that's the next worst thing you could do is, you know, use it in a way that shows that you're proficient with business. Show that, hey, if you come here, there's a benefit to it. Not, you gotta pay to catch my Venusaur. I mean, granted, I want that Venusaur, but if you're gonna be a dick about it, I'll go catch it somewhere else.
Yeah.
Because you will turn more people off that way. Because I've seen those signs, you know, our Pokemon aren't free, or you can't, what is it, our bathroom isn't for Pokemon Go users.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, some people are doing that too, and I'm like, come on, man. Really? One, people need to use the bathroom regardless, but if you're going to ostracize people who happen to pee and are trying to catch Arcanine, then what's the point? you're not doing yourself any favors.
Right. In some cases, I've seen, for example, on San Antonio's Pokemon Reddit. Yeah, I check the local Pokemon Reddit.
I don't blame you.
There are people who are very upset with those particular businesses and said, well, they don't have my business at all, period, anymore. Thanks, guys. Bye. And they drove business away. It's not smart.
No, it's not smart. And the thing about it is, embracing this kind of thing is smart because the businesses that got on it first realized it's not just nerds playing it. You know, going back to our title of the show, seeing beyond that. No, it's people. These are people who have expendable income. These are people who have free time. These are people who could potentially be a patron at my shop or my business or my restaurant or whatever. I don't need to push them away. I need them to come in and spend time and money.
Yeah.
So using this to allow for social things, you know that the one shopping area by us where there's that trifecta of Pokestops.
Yes.
You notice when we were there that place is usually heavily policed by the security guards. They never told anybody for a second, all right, you guys need to get out of here for loitering. No, they wanted them to stay there. That way they could go to the bakery in the area, to the Old Navy that was there, to the movie theater, because it generates business.
It's just kind of funny, though, the trifecta, if you stand in between all three of them, what you're doing is standing on a little grass island with trees in the parking lot.
In the middle of the parking lot.
In the middle of the parking lot. So, like, I mean, I don't know how much business it was. I remember that first day, that was one big old cluster of people. And then people parked right next to the little island, just trying to do it within their cars.
Yeah.
And then me sitting in an ant pile trying to...
That was on you. I don't know why you sat in an ant pile.
My back and my butt were covered in ant bites that night.
I don't know why you did that.
It was awful. It burned something bad. But really, it was kind of worth it. It was worth it for the hour your brother and I spent catching stuff. He was having a good time, too. He doesn't usually have fun, either. No, he doesn't have fun doing anything. He's an unfun person sometimes.
Well, he was having fun with the Pokemon.
He was having a lot of fun. Pokemon. That was a good time. That was a good
okay,
moment,
all right.
is what I'm saying.
Yes, bond with your brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank you.
Keep it up.
But let's go to Miyagi later.
I would like to go to Miyagi. I want to see what they do.
Let's go catch Pokemon in Miyagi once they have this set up. What do you say? Let's set that up and let's go give them a tour. Yeah.
Yeah, because
we should make a video out of it. Oh, it'd be so cool.
Yeah, because I am interested to see how they do it over there. Because over here, everything's very simple, like, you know, just print out a poster, put it up, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, at least the zoo was playing remixes and some of the original game music there over the speakers, which I love.
Yeah.
You know, it really added to the ambiance. But as far as Japan, like, they came out of Japan. You guys gotta have a much better stepped up game.
Yeah.
So I am very interested to see how they do that.
Yeah, I want to keep on this information. I want to keep you guys abreast
of this
information.
You guys want to go?
Too.
Yeah, let's get out there.
Yeah,
all
let's
right.
go. Let's start a Miyagi tour and let's go check it out. Later this year, next year, something?
Next year. Next year in Jerusalem.
No, this is Miyagi.
Next year in Miyagi. All right, fixed it.
All right. We better move on to our last story while we still have time to talk about.
Oh, we got time because there's quite a bit we could talk about with this next one.
If I can find there we go. Fun Crunchy. No, Crunchy Fun. It was Crunchy Fun.
Crunchymation.
I was just trying to remember what I named
Funny
it.
Roll.
Because I named these two pictures two different things, Fun Crunchy and Crunchy Fun. But yeah, so Funimation and Crunchyroll. It's
the biggest, arguably some of the biggest names.
It's like they found out that peanut butter and jelly actually taste good together, and then they finally did it.
Yeah.
Good for them. So what is this? Okay, so Funimation licenses anime and they dub anime and they distribute it online and for DVD. And Crunchyroll, as many of you probably know, though I'll say it anyway, they used to be fan subbers, and then they went legit, and then they started getting all of these random licenses to legally stream subtitled anime, and they're doing a fantastic job.
And they're basically the biggest name in subtitled anime.
Simulcasting.
And simulcasting
specifically
as well.
Simulcasting within 24 hours easily of Japan's, in some cases within the next hour, because they've been working so closely with Japan.
Much the same with Funimation. Most recently, you guys remember us covering Space Dandy. That was hand in hand working with the Japanese company.
And in fact, we got it aired on TV here in the States
before they got it in Japan.
Before they got it in Japan, which was really impressive. So
you've got both of these giants of industry, as far as anime is concerned, striving for the top. And then finally, one day, as they're striving for the top, they come up to both sides of their respective parts of the ladder, and they realize, we should come together.
Yeah, so, in fact, they've come together so well that I do not understand how this is not a merger. It doesn't make sense, but I'm still glad that the partnership exists. So what is happening exactly? Well, Funimation has decided to give their subtitles over to Crunchyroll, so you go over to crunchyroll.com and start watching Funimation's subtitled stuff over there, and then you go to Funimation, who has picked up Crunchyroll's licensed anime and is starting to dub it, and in fact, they're dubbing it as fast as humanly possible, so you've got a dub turnaround of only 2 to 4 weeks after the Japanese air date, which is so fast for a dub job.
That's incredibly fast. That's lightning speed compared to, and I don't want to pull the old school card, but you think back in the day, we never would have thought of the fact of,
or sometimes it took 2 or 3 years before something got
before
dubbed.
We got something over here. Yeah. I remember having to wait that long for something, and the thing about it was, you never would have thought, man, I can hear this dubbed in my native language within a month from when I find out about it. That was never a thing, and now it's like, no, next one. Oh, there's another one. There's another. Oh, I don't have time to watch all of these. But now you have that option. Mm-hmm. And the thing about it is, Crunchyroll was already looking to have certain things licensed, like you were saying, a Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, which I just got through. They're gonna get that dubbed and distributed through
Phoenix Wright's anime.
Ace Attorney is gonna get dubbed and distributed through Funimation now. Both of which I was watching Cabaneri, but we were both watching Ace Attorney. Mm-hmm. But those are coming here via Funimation because of this partnership now.
And Crunchyroll had already said, we're going to distribute physical copies like DVD and Blu-ray of a number of our titles. Well, Crunchyroll's stuff being distributed on DVD and Blu-ray is being done through Funimation, so they're printing the discs of Crunchyroll's licensed content. So much is happening, and they're saying, we have these monthly meetings together now. Crunchyroll.
No, I thought it said weekly.
Weekly, yeah, they have weekly meetings between Funimation and Crunchyroll. I'm just sitting here like, and you're sure somebody didn't buy somebody else? You're sure Funimation didn't buy Crunchyroll?
For as much as this sounds great,
sure?
Getting right into that. For as awesome as this is, because I don't have a problem with this in the slightest, because as far as making certain things available through Crunchyroll, you realize recently, as we kind of mentioned, Hulu finally went full pay.
Yeah.
And Hulu had a lot of Funimation titles on there, both dubs and subs. And now if, people don't want to pay for Hulu, if you're already paying for Crunchyroll, now you've got access to those.
Yeah.
So that's a plus. And that doesn't bump up the price. You're still paying that same price but getting more content.
Well, it's true that on Crunchyroll you're still paying the same price. Funimation, now it is true you have to pay for both services if you want both services, right? Both Funimation Now and Crunchyroll Premium.
Right, yes.
But Funimation Now is knocking their price down. I want to make sure I'm getting this price right. They have lowered it down to, I want to say $5.99 when it used to be something like $8. Something like that.
One more up.
One more.
One more.
One more.
There you go.
There. $5.99. It's going down to $5.99 a month or $60 a year. So at least there's that much there. They're knocking down the price of Funimation now
because they want to make it look more lucrative.
Yeah.
Which makes absolute sense. But the thing about it is, like I'm trying to get at here, is that this deal, which is great, highly benefits Funimation, and I'm wondering what Crunchyroll's getting out of this. Mm-hmm. Because really it seems more like if Crunchyroll was getting ready to come up, like, hey, I think it's about time we started printing discs. I think it's about time we started really going in there and getting in the game and licensing, and Funimation was like, oh no, let's talk. Yeah. And then it's like, it cut them off at the pass, like, nuh-uh, before you start trying to be our competition, you're with us now.
Yeah.
Which, in a business sense, makes absolute sense.
Yeah, and I imagine that really, Crunchyroll probably needed it too, and I say that because Crunchyroll's getting big, but they can't be that big yet, because all they had been able to afford up until this point was streaming licenses. They haven't been buying licenses for print distribution, and so I can't imagine how costly it would have been to print those discs in-house. So it's only smart to go to a print distributor, such as Funimation, who already works in anime, and go to them and say, hey, we need to start printing discs, can we work together?
Well, I guess when you phrase it that way, that makes more sense to me then, because then it does look better on both sides, because it's Funimation heading them off at the pass, like, okay, we're eliminating competition before it begins, and Crunchyroll seeing, in the long run, we can try this, but it's risky, so it's better that we get under somebody's protection. In that sense, it's kind of the same thing as signing up with a multi-channel. Like, no, you want to make sure somebody's got your back.
Yeah,
you want to make sure you've got the backing to do what you want to do.
Yeah. In that sense, I think it makes sense. I think the decision makes sense. The only part that doesn't make sense is, wow, you are really two separate companies still, huh?
Yeah.
That, like, I'm shocked because they're talking to each other all the time, and now they're working together. The interview, they had an interview with Gen Fukunaga, who's the CEO
of Funimation.
Of Funimation. Trying to remember if they interviewed somebody else also. Kun Gao, Crunchyroll's co-founder and general manager, both got interviewed for this. Fukunaga said, the problem is the marketing was fragmenting up a bit. You had other players coming in like Amazon and Hulu. The issue with some of those big players is that they're maybe not as concerned with the fan experience as Crunchyroll and Funimation.
Now, admittedly, that's true. Because I know some friends who work at Funimation, and they say that the big emphasis is on the fan things, which is why they've been trying to do more of these screenings now. With the Kenshin movies and other anime like Empire of Corpses. We had that. They've got other ones coming up that they're planning on releasing, because they're focused on making sure that the fans are aware that these are available to them, that if they're in their area, they can come out, let other people know about them, and then that develops brand awareness. Which, of course, when you go to a convention, you see Funimation's one of the biggest booths there.
Yeah.
Crunchyroll's the next biggest, but coming up. So,
and they have a big fan community that they love to cater to. What's also interesting is the statement they had about licensing other than just showing the shows. Again, Gen Fukunaga says, this partnership means that together we can more broadly monetize these rights in more ways, not just simulcasts, but broadcast dubs, TV, EST. EST is that digital distribution where you can buy it off of like iTunes or Amazon or something. Home video, merchandise, across the entire spectrum of rights in each property that we've both wanted to optimize in the past, and now together we can. So this makes me wonder, okay, both Funimation and Crunchyroll want to, like, distribute merchandise, like shirts and hats and toys and stuff like that. How does that work? Because if you're saying that these are still two separate entities, if you were one entity, then that would make sense, because, like, it's all going to one pot. But are you, like, splitting the rewards of selling merchandise?
Well, because
how does that work?
As it stands now, Funimation already makes their own merchandise. You know, they've got their name on shirts, props, of course, all of the Blu-ray and DVDs that are out there. Some action figures, like, that's already a thing for them. So as far as Crunchyroll goes, for, again, something, just as an example, Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress, like, if there's a Cabaneri of the Iron Fortress shirt out there, who gets the cut? Like, or what is the cut on that? Yeah. Because, again, like you said, if it was just, say, Funimation having bought them out, then that's their thing. But if they're sharing it, then who gets what? Because Funimation already talks to a distributor to make shirts. But are they doing it on behalf of Crunchyroll, or what? Like, how does that really divide up? Because at a certain point, you wonder if this isn't going to be eventually a full merger.
And right now they say they have no plans. No plans on doing that. Because people are asking, have you guys merged? And they both say, no. We're our own separate entities and we have no plans on merging. Okay.
Now, the thing to watch out for now is, because this just happened, You remember next week we're going to go see Kyoto Inferno, which is done by Funimation.
Yes.
I'll be interested to see.
And then
for
we're
anybody,
gonna see Godzilla, which is also under Funimation.
I'll be interested to see how they start advertising that. Starting next week, definitely going into October when we have that. Thankfully, because we're doing the story, and that's a thing we're going to do, we brought in a guest to talk to us about how this merger is going to go. Let's get him back in here.
Why are
you guys are talking
this?
about this. Shin Godzilla, everybody. Let's bring him back up. All right, Shin Godzilla, everybody. Let's talk to him about this. So, Shin, were you aware that this was going to be a merger? Okay, so you had no idea that they were going to be doing this. Okay, are you getting a cut of the money that's being brought in by both Funimation and Crunchyroll? Can you tell me how much the cut is? Are you happy with the cut you're getting? Can you tell us any more than that? Alright, thanks for stopping by. Shin Godzilla, everybody.
This is my life now. This is what happens around
every
here.
week until you
No,
like it.
No, not every week. Let's not do this. No.
But bottom line, this is a very interesting thing to see because this makes so much sense that I wonder how the other companies like Viz are going to respond to this,
right?
Like Sentai Filmworks, where they're saying, oh man, they're teaming up. They got there before we did. Even if we were thinking about it, even if we weren't thinking about it, I should have thought of that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be interested to see what the response is, especially out of Viz, since they're probably the next biggest, if not slightly bigger than Funimation, with a lot of their hand in the game with simulcasting and dubbing, how they're going to respond, because at this point it's like, well, dang, like it's Coke and Pepsi at this point.
Right.
So I want to see what this brings out of the community, how they try to up the bar, because admittedly making this I keep wanting to say merger, this business grouping of a sort,
This partnership. It's a partnership. That's what they're calling it.
That set the bar pretty high for what they want people to expect from them.
Yeah.
From their experience, from this fan experience, for what you can get for your dollar for anime. So I want to see what somebody else does.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if they're giving it to me for this much, how much are you going to give it to me for? If I'm getting this kind of content, what are you going to give me? If they're showing me these movies, what are you going to give me? And hopefully we, as consumers, as fans, as otaku, as anime consumers, come out on top here.
I hope so, because that's the way that they're pitching it to us, is that this is better for the fans, that fans should be really excited about this, that this is really the best thing that could have happened to the fandom here in North America. And this is a North America only thing, so sorry to those of you watching outside of Canada and the US, but...
Sorry.
We're lucky.
We are lucky.
This is a lucky age to be living in, too.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah, we've got it pretty good in comparison to 10, 15, 20 years ago or longer, you know. Yeah. Pretty darn good right
Especially when 10, 15, 20 years ago me didn't have that kind of scratch to spend on this stuff.
Exactly. Alright, I guess that's gonna do it for now, and we could totally still keep talking about possibilities here into our post-show, so I'll go ahead and repeat what I said at the top of the show. If you are watching us on YouTube after the fact, that's great, but it would be awesome if you were down here with all these people at 9 p.m. Central on Thursdays. That's the day of the week it is right now. Yes, it's Thursday, 9 p.m. Central, and for an additional half hour after the show, you get to talk to us, you get to talk to these people, we're going to answer your questions, and we love interacting with you guys because it's a good time.
Yes, and during the week, you can always talk to us over on social media if you got a story, if you just want to talk to us about something we talked about during this week's show, you can shoot the breeze with us there. On Twitter, I'm at JoshKnight1st.
And I'm at MarsGirl.
And that having been said, that's been tonight's episode of Beyond the Black Realms, and we will see you guys again at 9 p.m. next week.
Good night, yay!